Hello everybody, this is Lila in Hawaii. I was asked to show one of my students how to make an envelope that I keep usually in all of my journals, and I said, well, it's not really an envelope, it only looks like an envelope. So this is my book that we're working on right now, and I can show you, where is it, somewhere here I've got, there it is, there. This is my field notes book that we're working on. So anyway, here's the envelope. So it ties with twine. Not always, but in this case, yes. And then it opens just like that. And in this case, I have sealed the sides, and there's some little cards and so forth in there. But generally, I don't seal the sides. I did it because she said, oh, you need to seal the sides, don't you? And I thought, oh yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. But normally I don't. I just put them in plain. And so here, this is the cover of my field notes. So now I'll show you all of these. All of these come from the same. They're all the same folding technique, which is not a technique. It's just folding, really. Just decorate a little bit differently. So the way I do it is I tear out a page from a book, and a fairly sturdy page, and then, so this one is like this, turned upside down. That's the important thing. And then I check, fold it this way, that's the bottom of it, and then fold it this way, and I check, yes, it's up the right way. And then when I put it in one of my journals, all I do is I glue the back of it, and I don't do the sides. No, I don't normally. In that other case I did, and that's very unusual, and it was kind of to please someone rather than myself. So this is how it would look, and then all the variations come from this. Sometimes I will take this and fold it in. Let me see if you can see that. Fold that in like that, and then do the other side. I'm not going to do the other side, but do the other side as well to match. And then if I'm going to put a grommet in there, which I did in the other one, I'll turn this down, and it gives it more stability. So for the grommet to go through, it goes through two thicknesses. And sometimes if I think there's going to be a lot of wear and tear on this edge, I'll either make a fold that way, or I will make a fold this way. And that kind of strengthens the edge. And gluing it or not gluing it, that's kind of optional. But I try to, just on the side of the flap, not on the body, because I like the body open. I like it that you can just open it like that and have access to everything that's in it. So with that said, I will show you some variations. And I must say I just did these this morning in a rush because I thought I would show you how they look decorated. Well, first of all, here's an envelope. Not done the same way. This was a regular envelope sent to me. I mean, I painted it. And all I did was I took out what was ever inside, was sealed, and I cut the top, and then I've got all my little goodies inside there. So that's that. Excuse me, having some coffee. Okay, so here, let's see. Here's one variation. So this variation, same thing. Here I folded this up, folded the flap down, and with this one I used, now I remember, I used quite old paper, and it happened to tear right along where the flap was, not all the way, but part of the way. So I've had to put some masking tape, or whatever you call that tape anyway, just along there and along there, and I thought that looked kind of nice. It has script on it. And then I had this label that came off something, and I had actually torn it, so I fixed it with a bit of glue under there, and I put that on this part of it. So that's number 1. That way. Okay, so here's another variation. This one would go in my field notes journal that I'm working on. So I fussy cut some flowers and leaves and so forth, which really would go this way. And I put the leftover little bit down there. Didn't fold any flaps in. And then in order to access the inside, just for fun, I cut a little U thing out of it there. I just hand cut it. And then I've already put a little tag, I suppose, inside. So that would be number 2. I'm not going to count them after this. That'd drive you crazy, wouldn't it? Okay, so here's another idea. And this one, you know, I do like butterflies. And I cut them out a lot. So I've got, well, this envelope that I showed you, it's filled with butterflies. Already cut out, and we use a lot of butterflies in the little classes I teach. And when we put the butterflies on, it's rare that we put them on flat. Occasionally we do, but generally we just put the glue in the middle and then do something with the wings to give them dimension. And in this case I put a little grommet. First of all, I folded the flap right into the middle, like that. So it's just like this. So I folded those edges into the middle, which gave me this V. And I noticed it came lower, because obviously it made the flap bigger than I thought. So then I put the grommet here, and then I always tie a knot in the twine, and then it gets wrapped around, whichever way. Like this one, I wrapped around underneath the butterfly wings. I put it under there, just that piece, and then joined it here, and when it was tied it sort of looked like, you know, the tails on one of the butterflies. So that's another one. This one, I had someone had sent me a little card, and it had this Paris lavender. It was lavender water, and so I thought that would be nice on one. So I did a similar thing to this one in a way, except I only folded these flaps this much, not right into the center, and then I glued this on so it covered the whole of the front like that. So this goes like this, and then I thought for just a little extra fillip, this happened to be hanging around my studio, just sitting somewhere, so I just grabbed it because it looks like lavender. So that's another one. This one I left plain, and it's just plain, because sometimes you need just plain, don't you? So again, I've got here the grommet. I did fold the sides in on this one, just to make it, actually I was trying to make it smaller than the paper, and I folded the top for giving it some extra strength. And I folded this part too to give it, because sometimes the paper, you know, that I use is really old, and this one's an old French book. So anyway, so that's another one. This one I did glue the butterfly down flat, because I don't know why. It's pretty much flat. It's a little bit raised. Same thing. Well, I don't need to go into it. But anyway, I folded in the edges. I'm not going to undo it. The thing about this, though, I don't know whether you can note. Well, yes, I will do that. Sometimes. Okay, so this is how it looks. I folded in there, the top. Folded this down so there's more stability. And then I folded this part as well. But I wonder if you see what's wrong with this. But nothing is wrong. It's all right, isn't it? I forgot to turn it upside down, so everything is upside down. It should have been this way. I think I was dreaming. Okay, here's another one. This one, I made, calling it Field Notes, and this is some of my own stenciled paper that we made for a little class I teach. You know, we made it to go in that book that I showed you, which is, the book is called Field Notes, and so I've put the little word Field Notes there, and we made this paper. This was one of our challenges one day. So that's that. And I just folded in the top to give it a little more strength at the top there. And then it doesn't have twine around it, but it could. And then this little butterfly definitely is flying. And then this is the other side of it. So I only own 3 stencils. This is 1. This is 2. This kind of brick wall looking thing. 1, 2, 3. And you'd be surprised how many papers and gorgeous pages, this one's pretty bright, I can get out of just using those 3 stencils, which are really old that I had. Okay, so now this one I made, and I'm not going to mention any more about it except that it says, it happened that well, first of all, I'll show you how I folded it. Folded it like that at the top, folded this in. This I left like that, and it says there at the top, and his young friends, and at the bottom it says, the little schoolroom. I'm not going to say any more about that, but that has a special meaning, doesn't it? And so then I put a little collage of some old lace and one of my hand-painted pansies. And then the word friends, I also typed that and put that. So it says friends, the little schoolroom. And then this one is kind of strange, I know. This one's definitely a foraging thing. We do a lot of foraging for my class. And we go down to the woods and we pick up things under the trees. So in this case, here I have folded in the sides, and I haven't glued, but I will glue these. I'll glue these down, these sides, kind of to shape the flap. And there's the bottom of it. And guess what I did with this one? I did this upside down as well. It should have been this way, the text. It didn't bother me a bit, but I thought, oh, I think I'm going to just cover that. So I covered it with a big dried leaf here. Then I put the word garden, typed that, and behind there there's some sort of, I don't know what you call it. I think it's kind of a bark, actually. The inside of some bark there, a little bit I put there. And then one of those skeleton leaves, I had to cut it to fit there, so that's on top. And then I had some little flowers, and I just grunged them a little bit. And that's a little collage. That'll go in my book that I showed you. This is going to be called Foraging, and the book, of course, is Field Notes. So that's them. And I thought I would show those to you now. You see how simple it is. And believe me, I don't have anything in my supply kit. I have nothing. I just make do with what I have, and sometimes, like, as I said, I'll print these, cut them out, so that then I often paint the things that I want to use. For example, I'll paint a sheet of flowers, in this case pansies, but I've also done other flowers that I've painted, just because, you know, you use what you have. And so those are some things that I made this morning, actually. And then this, again, is how you make the envelope. I just fold a little bit at the bottom, a little bit at the top. I usually fold it first, and then fold the sides in. And then, of course, decide how long the flap should be. This time I got it the right way up. It's not upside down, is it? So that's how I made. Very simple. And I guess these are sitting on my desk. So I have been foraging, so there's something I made. It's a little foraging hoop. So I just covered some wire with some old cloth and did a little collage there of things we found out walking. And then I had a few things left over, so I made a coat hanger. So there's a little coat hanger. Oh, there it is. A little coat hanger. And I tied a few bits of rag around it and put a little collage there. I'm not good at making coat hangers, but I do make them fairly often, particularly when I make those little dresses, dolls' dresses. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and happy Memorial Day if you're in the US of A, or elsewhere, of course. And I'll talk to you again. Bye-bye for now.